structure that we have now decided, like who's taking the notes, who's making sure that there's other people joining, who's talking to the FTM and so on, like just to see like how is this actually happening after 5 when we are over.
I have another proposal actually. I think, like we will talk about things and we will not think about everything. So probably we can make this a Google document and everybody can make suggestions or add-ons or formulate things out later on, and probably use liquid something to vote on things remotely.
Yes, I think this is one of the aspects. So maybe we need to determine someone who is setting up liquid feedback to get these notes into something that we can vote on. But we should use the last hour of today to name some people that do some specific tasks to make things happen.
Okay. Ownership, that makes sense.
And then until 4, we have time to. So basically, we said because at 5 there's an end. That from 4 to 5 we should determine like what are the next steps and who is taking those steps. And until then, we can discuss whatever topic we want to discuss from the list or anything else.
Yeah, maybe we start with something more easy, like for the next half an hour, tools, for example. So
just because some of our remote members aren't on yet. So we
also the coffee is not kicking in yet.
Yeah. We don't want to discuss anything heavy without their participation.
Okay.
I agree with that as well.
Okay, that
Tools.
means we are talking now about tools, but I don't think it's not only tools, it's about the way how we work together. Tools are only tools. So there must be something more, I think.
That sounds interesting.
It needs to be wielded correctly.
Pardon?
Be used correctly.
Mm-hmm.
As the saying goes, a bad craftsman leaves his tools.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has suggestions? Yeah.
I do agree. Especially because we don't know, like if we continue on this train of thought, we would actually need to figure out a lot more details that we are capable of doing right now. So we need to know like what are the tasks, how are they going to solve them. Meaning there are a lot of tools we potentially could use for a lot of tasks that we haven't defined yet. So we don't know yet how to decide on the tools, but there are 2 things that we already know that we will have. And that's communication, and that's some form of voting feedback thing. So I think on these 2, we can actually already make a decision or proposals. And for the rest, if it's Trello, Asana, or whatever for ongoing stuff, I don't think we're capable yet.
I'd add a third, which is document sharing or storage or
Good.
something.
That's what I would suggest at first, to collect what kind of information we do need kind of tools for.
Okay.
And document sharing is kind of information. It's just documents, and then we have the communication, and maybe we have some totally different kind of content like tasks.
Yes, I would say types information are text, which is Google Document or like G Suite.
Just a second. Can you schreibst du mit? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then for chat, I would use Slack, nothing else, especially not like the instant chat things. And then for voting, apparently liquid feedback, although I've never used it, I don't know about it, but it seems to be like a consensus on that.
That means we need something for voting, we need something for communication, and
For
some
documents.
storage, just document storage. And maybe we need something for working together in projects.
Yeah.
But not maybe, I think we would need something.
So project management.
Yes, kind of. What else?
I was wondering, what is the current setup for working Bansko?
Okay, I mean for communication, obviously we have email, and we also have a Google group for the co-working Bansko management team, where we share some files and whatever discussion we have. And we of course use Google Drive for a lot of documents. I'm not sure if this is the right setup for a bigger group, because sometimes, for example, Google Drive, even if we are 3 people, sometimes I don't know if we have a document or not. And if I don't know if the document exists, I also don't know how to search for it. So I think this knowledge sharing is more important in the co-op when we have more people, and maybe this is even like one of the 100-hour tasks for someone to just organize all our internal communication and make sure that everyone actually has the information that they need and know where to look for them.
But if you are talking about self-verantwortung, self-reliability, one part is to go to these places, to these resources and look for. I don't think that it's the responsibility of the management board or from whoever to inform the people always like this, all this push information. We have to work together more with pulling the information. We have to have one storage, one place for communication, and it's my responsibility to look there. Is everything what I do need for my task
I mean,
there?
what we can do is we can share the Google Drive with the Coop members, we can see what we have, and if we have the feeling that it's enough to pull from an unstructured resource like this, leave it like this. If we feel we need a more of a structured approach to knowledge sharing, then we make more of a structured.
Actually, I think
Okay.
you're saying the same. Matthias is not saying we need to actively educate. He's just saying that the resource for the individuals to pull from needs to be better structured.
Okay.
I think I'm very
Just-
critical. I'm very critical with this kind of stuff because I think, like, even though we might define something, but how the people use it, it can differ, and therefore a lot of like I agree we should be self-reliant. But when people use it differently, then we find this information in the chat room, then we find the other information in the document folder, and the third information, it's already like something like this is happening within co-working Bansko already. So and it's very, very difficult to find all the pieces of information.
Okay.
GDPR, let's not forget about that. We need to be very careful about what the information we're sharing is, who has access to it, breach. I mean, I know GDPR is not as scary as most people think.
Are there really personal data involved that has to be protected? So
I would think at some point there would be. I don't know what you guys have.
No, you have
set up,
members.
but-
You have members' addresses and emails.
So
Okay.
we have much more information about members. But we have decided,
MatthiasWatches.com.
I mean, that's like,
what we have decided as co-working Bansko is that we will ignore GDPR. This might not be the right decision for the Coop, but for us now, all the hassle to deal with GDPR is just not worth it. Because if you want to do it correctly, it's a lot of effort. It's not a little effort, it's a ton of effort.
it's an extra job.
yeah, well, I was going to say it is an extra role, but one way to at least look like you're making an effort with GDPR is just because this is what we've done, because I have, like, my job, we are dealing with people's personal and private mental health, so we have to be very careful. We just have a document that says, in this meeting, we raise the issue of GDPR, and then we just go through the steps so that if the EU does ever come knocking, we can say, okay, we tried. I mean, we are making attempts we haven't quite worked it out yet. Can you help us? And then they're probably not going to do anything about it. But as long as we're making the pretense of making an effort to abide by GDPR, it's one big step.
You can work a lot with the Einwilligung, if the people declare their will, they know what you are doing, and then you store it on Google Drive, and if people sign for that, that would be okay.
Like, I think from understanding it in my company, like just doing all the things you're saying, just appointing one person to be responsible, having an internal wiki about this is already GDPR. Then all you have to do is making sure that if there's a tick box somewhere, it's an opt-in tick box, and that if they ask to basically remove the data, we do it. That's all GDPR is, as far as I understand. So it's not that difficult.
Again, this is what I was saying. Just because we had a GDPR consultant in our last co-working place, so this is my opinion. I'm just feeding back what he said. The main thing we should be doing at the moment is just raising the issue and acknowledging that we're going to do our best to comply.
Yeah.
And then even if we don't, the EU just wants to see that if they audit us, because we're not a big company, we're not selling people's data like Facebook, it's just a way to get us to step in line. And there's a grace period. We're not going to have to worry about this for the next like 5 years. I just wanted to make a note that we do need to be conscious of GDPR.
Okay, we made a note.
Stop. We go one after the other. Can we expect you to be the ownership of GDPR? Can we?
I mean, I'm not versed enough in it I could do it, but I'm going to just be it. We do need to, okay, I'm not explaining myself very well. One of the things is we need to designate a GDPR officer within the organization. I don't know how that works with a co-op.
Okay, but before we deep into this detail, right?
Okay, I would say that it's a different topic, GDPR. We have to think about it, not now. If you mention it on
I
the
put it in the notes, so I
it's
think
fine.
we're covered now.
Okay. Yes.
I believe that to start with, Google Drive is a good place to keep documentation. And in order to have it good, set up, organized, I suggest that someone from the Coop will have to have as a task on a weekly basis or monthly basis or whatever the need is to keep it organized. Like this file goes into this box, this file goes into this box, this file goes into this box.
So this is okay.
It's again against self-organization, it's somebody take care. It's not, we said everybody is responsible for the things.
I agree. I think there should be a rule set which describes how to use it rather than have somebody after.
Okay, just we are all now with Google Drive for documents. Would this be fine for everyone here? Storing and sharing the documents.
Shall we vote on this?
Yes,
for
that's
Google
what I am
Drive.
trying to do now. Okay. And within the next step, we would have to define some rules how to use it. Maybe use the comment feature or not, or whatever. Okay.
Will we start with communication also, putting some tools in there?
So we are fine now with document
Are we digging
storage.
deeper in Google Drive or have it set
No,
and
no.
keep on?
Not
at
yet.
the moment.
Not at the moment. Document storage. Then we have communication. Next. What are your suggestions for document?
I have a suggestion for this too, but I was thinking to maybe add to the notes like fold approved or something like this, because earlier we had folded like on the same thing twice or something.
Everything there is approved.
Okay. And then I have a suggestion in general, like there's a platform called Bittrex24, if I remember the name correctly. And you can self-host this, so it costs you zero money to do it. And it has like even a desktop app that will notify you if like it works. It works for communication. It can be used for product management. It's kind of like an all-encompassing tool. And I like it because it doesn't cost you anything and it works pretty well.
May I raise my hand? Because I think like we have like probably Google Drive is perfect to get started. Communication will be the most difficult to solve, and there is probably more intelligent tools if we so decide. But this will go in so much depth that we cannot make this decision yet. For example, with this, I would be happy to take a look at a few tools, prepare like pros and cons, and then put them up to the test eventually. What's really important is communication, because I don't see us having a Sebastian at Coworking Bansko, and then like nobody, like we don't have email addresses for persons. I don't see that. I don't see that working either. I don't want another inbox as well. So this is basically like one of the most crucial things.
Okay.
What could be a quick win?
Okay. Vote for no email. No email.
Yeah, I would vote for
Internal or external?
Before we vote, there's another point I would like to make. I disagree with this. I think the officials, people of the management board, people of the control board, the chairman, need to have an official email address, and this email address is not personal. It means it belongs to the organization, and whoever is taking over this role also takes over the email account.
Absolutely.
Or PR or something like that.
Everything that's outside there needs to be email, and needs to be somebody who's like uses that
I mean,
account.
we're talking about internal communication.
Yes.
No.
But this is part of it, right? So
No.
if you message the chairman will answer from the chairman email.
Yeah.
Not
That's outside
internal.
communication.
Outside.
But this is
No,
No,
even
that's
internal. If a member is raising something to the chairman as an official co-op business, the chairman should also answer from an official account so
but
that the
we-
co-op can later see what these communications were. No,
But
That
before
was
we
the question.
this is a question, right? But this is a question
do
that we
we
can vote on.
do email for internal communication at all? That should be the first question. Or do we
You know-
use something else for the internal communication and just use email for external communication?
And adding to your question, is all the communication have to be visible for all the co-op members?
No, this would be crazy. If I ask you something, that's
Not related to someone else here.
No,
Yeah.
that's not, but the officials, like the chairman, the management board, the reporting board, this communication is part of the co-op. It's like in a business. And it's not your personal emails, which means that these emails will be visible to the next order of this office.
Like Slack. In Slack, you see everything from.
Independent of Slack, whatever.
No,
tool.
it's
So the communication-
it's a communication. If you say emails are visible for everyone, Slack is visible for everyone, it's the same.
no, it's
No,
something
it's not the same.
different,
I'm saying you can still have your private email, right? But Jürgen can message you and say, hey, we should do this proposal or whatever. But
Okay.
if Jürgen is messaging the chairperson, then this communication will be part of the co-op operation. This is not a private email anymore. Right?
Okay.
I would say there is also, just for having certain, like chairman at co-op, PR co-op, marketing co-op, that designated person is going to need an official email for external emails as well. So say, for instance, maybe I'll explain this very well, but if the PR team gets sent an email that isn't applicable to them, should they have a forwarding address to the chairman at coop.com so that the chairman of that time frame can answer from that email address. So in that sense, you're using it internally, but only for
What?
There are a few things mixed. At first, do we have this? And you said yes, we do have to have.
No,
These-
we didn't vote, but I
Okay.
would propose that we have
Well,
this.
yeah, okay. These functional emails, PR at Co-op Bansko, chairman at, shouldn't be a name, it's just the function. Is this a good idea? Should
For
we?
outside communication, yes. For inside communication, no.
Okay, for outside communication, yes.
What happens if you have an inside communication?
I mean,
You have the name.
Yeah, this is a question.
just like on average, you would expect only to email chairman at co-working or chairhuman at co-working Bansko if you have some official thing to do according to the bylaws or whatever with the process. If you're gonna email Matthias, you're just gonna text him on Facebook, right? It's like a personal thing. So I would expect people to just do that normally. But if somebody emails that email address for a personal thing, this guy still has to respond, but then it's just part of the official co-op laws, it doesn't matter.
I was just going to suggest, should we have a vote to decide that yes, there should be
Yeah.
functional email addresses, and then work out what those are used for at a later date.
Yeah, but the point is, an email address is an address. You can email it for anything you want. So we can vote, yeah, it's only for internal or external, but
But this would be the next step. At first, have these functional email addresses.
That's what I'm suggesting. We just
Mhm.
vote on that.
Yes.
okay.
Okay. Who is against having these functional email addresses? Okay.
So do the other one as well.
Could you ask, please? I don't know how to ask.
Who is for having these functional email addresses in the company? In the co-op?
Also, okay.
Okay.
Okay, next aspect of this, I propose these functional linked email addresses will be passed to the next holder of the office.
Obviously.
Who
It's
is,
not obviously, it could also be that
No,
we say.
I agree, yeah.
Great. So ownership is passed on.
Mhm.
I would additionally propose that, like for example, PR. This would have everybody that's involved in the PR department, let's call it, has access to the PR email. So it's not like personal ownership, more like the whoever team involved in this, and this then changes the ownership, as in like the,
Department.
because the team will probably keep existing. Maybe one person will go on, other person will come in,
That's fine.
and only the chairman will actually change as that one physical person.
So,
Okay,
so Rich,
Ryan?
go voting on this?
Oh, I have a comment on this. I'm very against multiple people having access to the same email address because this creates confusion. Oh, this email got read. Did you read it? Did you reply to it? Like I've done this
Okay.
before, and one person should be doing the email.
The
from
head
that.
of PR
Fair-
or
And I don't
point.
think we need
Okay.
so many.
okay.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I had in organizations we had used a ticket system.
Yeah, but it costs money.
One inbox and
Not necessarily.
ownership of emails should be changed to the person who's responsible. You see the whole conversation, and that's for the official. It's the easiest way. And
I think you can do this with Google.
So this, basically, you're proposing these emails are linked to a ticket system. This is the next vote then.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it at all.
So I can explain. So for example, if you email Judge, me, my company, whether it's PJ or support, it all goes to the same inbox and the same team looks at it. Then you have marketing and Judge me arriving there as well. But then just maybe internally some agents can be assigned to the marketing tickets, but everybody can still see everything that's happening. The issue, of course, is spend $20 per person per month.
no,
Not
for them
necessarily.
it's free.
I think the issue is more like people then have to use a ticket system instead of an email client on their phone, so it makes it more difficult. But the proposal is there should be a ticket system linked to these email addresses.
So
Instead
which
of
one is
people
free
using-
and enterprise grade or good
Next question. This is a different topic.
Mhm.
But the first question is, should we have a ticket system instead of an email client for these official emails?
I'm
Is
not
vote no?
familiar with that.
Voting?
I can't vote.
No, we're not voting.
What do you do?
I
Can't decide that.
Me neither.
I want to know which
I don't
one
know.
before, honestly.
Okay,
I think this is largely addressing a problem that doesn't exist yet. So
Yeah.
I think that we have to cross the bridge when we get there.
So
Good
we
point.
can vote on it.
so that
So
means we
we-
shouldn't have a ticket system
that's
now. Okay,
So,
So-
maybe we should
You
look
can always
at,
note it.
maybe we should be looking at like Slack or something for now.
now let's finish with this email thing.
So Ryan mentioned a good point with these functional emails, but there should be a head of these function. Or maybe just
Head of
this,
department.
That person has this email address.
and just this person has access, so we solve this problem.
And can deliver the tasks and whatever. Who is for doing it that way? Who is for just the responsible person and this working group has access to this email address? Who's
What is vote now? Who's for it?
who is for it?
For one person or the
For-
entire?
for one
I mentioned
person.
this.
One
So
person
like
per email.
the head person has.
The head person has this functional email address. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It's a
7,
majority.
8. Okay.
Like, can we vote on whether we want to use a help desk system as a general rule? Let's nine it.
Which one?
Like there was our proposal.
I mean, I've heard some people saying they're not ready for this vote yet.
I don't really
For the ticket?
understand.
Yeah, but what we are voting now, which voted just now, is the opposite of the ticketing system.
No, it's not. Still not.
It's independent.
I think it's overkill for now.
We can always decide this later or redecide it.
Okay, we
Okay, is everything fine later to design on the ticket system?
Yes.
We can vote on it, but
Yeah.
it's public.
Okay,
Let's vote on it. Let's vote on it.
We need,
But I don't.
we
just to
need,
stick to the
Yeah.
process.
Just
we need an easy
Okay,
communication
who
channel
is
for the
who
daily
is fine
tasks.
with postpone the voting for the ticket system?
Very weird way of phrasing it, but
Okay.
So external communication done or?
Part of communication done.
The so-called
we-
official communication is emails, but let's find a way where we can chat easily on a daily basis for the daily things.
That's the next step, the internal communication.
So let's call this external communication because it doesn't have its own header in the notes, and then move on to internal communication.
What do you think about it, Matthias?
I think that
I want to make a totally different statement. I don't think we need this internal communication apart from the Liquid Feedback platform. I think the internal communication should be very structured and using the platform instead of having like a Slack chat where we discuss all kind of unstructured stuff.
There, okay, take off the moderator hat. I don't think so. There are so many little things in between. Are you going with me to the hot springs? Have you heard
This
about
doesn't belong
this?
to the co-op.
This is Facebook. You can do it via
Can't we
Facebook.
go away from Facebook?
Yeah, but that's your personal thing.
We can
right?
go to WhatsApp.
What, yeah.
No.
What you mean is this is personal stuff that can be completely outside of this.
Yeah.
I'm also
Okay.
a lot pro Slack because you can have, for example, the marketing channel, which makes it very easy for people not in the marketing department to just take a dip into this and see what's going on there. So there's a lot of transparency, hassle-free transparency that's possible.
In that
with
liquid
Slack.
thing, that
No,
is this
That's
in the
totally
liquid thing?
different.
This is a different
Yeah, I have
story.
my hand up.
He talked
Okay.
I've never seen liquid feedback, so I can't make an opinion on using that as a tool.
Same with me.
But it's a voting tool.
But
It's not a communication tool.
this is what Matthias was saying. It seems to be that we could use it as a communication tool.
What I'm saying is let's determine first what we actually want to communicate here and then see what are the best tools, because
Okay.
also like Slack for marketing tool, yes, but marketing is mostly about files maybe, if it's like online stuff.
No, but
So is this really the right communication platform?
we have subgroups, right? We have a marketing group that needs to communicate within their tasks. And they can do so on our Slack group without being annoying to everybody. But if anybody wants to see what they're up to and what they're doing, they can just
I
look in
agree,
their
but a
channel.
lot of people for marketing, for example, use Asana because there you have actual tasks that you
This
can
is
comment
totally different. Asana is a project management tool.
Okay.
Slack is a communication
on.
tool.
But the question is like, what type of communication do we want to have a tool for?
Okay,
I
over
was
there.
just going to say there is a Slack and Asana integration.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Ryan?
I think that it always makes the most sense to use the tool that people are most familiar with instead of introduce new tools. I think that liquid feedback can be really useful for certain things that we have not done yet, but for communication, like it's much easier for me to send a Slack message to my team at Habu. If I just have a quick question about something, oftentimes these questions aren't tied to actual projects that exist yet, or if I need something quickly. We also have a project management system that we communicate about a specific project inside that card, but it's like the problem of where are people going to be the most likely to see your message and respond. I think this is going to be email, Facebook, or Slack. I'm probably going to be a lot less likely to I don't even know if there's a liquid feedback phone app. I'm going to be less likely to check it because I'm not there.
Why don't we just make messenger groups?
Can we just speak to
Okay,
this?
Jürgen? Oh, okay, so- sorry.
How about we just let, like, if it's just departments, not like the whole like big decisions, liquid feedback type of stuff. How about we just let the departments decide for themselves what they want to use?
this would, sorry.
Doesn't work.
The idea is for
Okay.
the rest of the people to be able to have a look at what a specific department is working on.
And also the department membership will be changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we figure out which levels of communication we want to have? We need. I need to ask you. Okay, let's start. Let's plant some new plants, and are you with me to ask the other ones? So this is one kind of communication we need. The other kind of communication we need, I think, in the apartment there must be some communication, and there must be an overall. So maybe we figure out which levels of communication we need, and then we can see what kind of tools we need.
Okay, Peter? You agree?
I would agree with that, and so I would propose, just to make it simple, for the informal communication that can go away after a week or two, we use Slack, because otherwise you have to pay for Slack anyway to keep it forever, and I think it's a stupid thing to do. For the more formal thing, if you want to email the Coop function, you would use the emails, right? We have some project management potentially, but I also agree with Ryan that I think it's overkill to add it right now, and then the feedback thing for the voting part. And that is, I think, how everybody's used to work. I think it's going to work. And I would also do no email for members internally.
Okay, any comments on that?
Yeah, so I think the problem with Slack is that it goes away and it's hard to get past information. And in my experience, a lot of this stuff that starts as informal, then all of a sudden becomes formal. So we said, we discussed this in Slack, and what did we actually discuss and agree on?
That's how humans work together, and that's how you do it. So it starts informal, and then it becomes, for example, a formal proposal that you use official channels for.
That's okay, but the problem with Slack is that it goes away, so it's impossible for people to search the powers.
I would disagree. I think it's a great thing about Slack, it goes away. Like, I think the free plan is better in Slack than the paid plan.
And on a certain level, it will be like that we are working on projects with real tasks, and that all the chatting belongs to the task, like in Asana, like in Trello. That would be the next level. Slack is not for bringing big projects or tasks forward. But for now, I think it could be a good tool for the small communication.
I think it's
and avoiding
only
emails.
tool that
Okay.
can make
I think that the thing I like about Slack is it is casual. It's a great way to start a project, but of course, when we use this process in our company, sometimes we'll chat about something on Slack. Sometimes we'll have a meeting. We're also we can't, unless we're recording every single meeting, we're not necessarily able to pull up exactly what somebody said. The point is, when something becomes official, you make it into an official project or proposal, and you outline it as such. So I don't think that we need to look at Slack history back forever. Plus, it takes quite a while for those historical conversations to go away, unless you're a very large team having a huge volume. I think it's something like 10,000 messages.
10,000.
So it's like, yeah, a conversation from 2 months ago might be gone, but is it relevant anymore? Because we probably translated this into a more official channel.
Okay, Jürgen?
I mean, if it's 10,000, I guess this comment is unnecessary. But like, you could also have like like in Trello, you could have a card that says informal chat, and you can do the same thing as with Slack, and you can keep all the things indefinitely there.
Yes, if you have an official project.
Like copy and paste.
Like, what is the advantage to Facebook on Slack?
What?
You can
channels.
organize the channels.
Different channels.
It's like different Facebook groups, right?
Yeah, but it's not organized to Facebook.
You can't find anything
Okay.
like the searching
We can
process.
actually.
The searching in
Who
Facebook
wants to
is
use
worse than in
Facebook for
Okay.
any communication related to this co-op other than private?
Let's vote on that.
Okay, let's vote on that.
I think we should discuss on it first, but we can also start voting right away on
I
it.
think
Can I ask,
a lot of people are very clear on
Okay.
this.
what do you envision using Facebook for co-op communication?
Informal communication, where we just kind of chat along without having official agreements yet. And the reason why I propose Facebook for this is, first of all, we are already on Facebook. I don't have to log into Slack to be there. Plus, it's much easier to share information that maybe comes from the co-working group and from the co-working discussion to another group in Facebook than to then copy it to Slack and do things.
Okay, 3.
One quick question: who's using Slack at the moment on a daily basis? Okay.
It's the first thing I log into every day.
Yes.
Before Facebook.
Okay,
Facebook
next
is,
one.
Okay, but
Right.
you notice that the people that do the co-working space currently don't use it.
because you have 2 people. That's
No, we
different.
have 3 people.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so my counter to that is you and I have a lot of personal conversations about things totally unrelated to the co-op, which means that if our conversations about the co-op casually will get buried in all of this other personal stuff, right? And I also chat with Jürgen about going to lunch and like other random stuff. So it's like I don't want those mixed, just like I don't want you emailing my personal email account for stuff that's business related.
I also I mean, this is a personal preference, but I like my Facebook being purely sociable.
Yeah.
And it's very important that you are able, even though we're only doing 100 hours a year, very important to separate your work from your personal. This is what I do for a living. This is why I do it. The idea of going onto Facebook and getting like 3 chat notifications and they're about something to do with the co-op, but it's like 10 p.m. on a Friday night. I don't want to live with that.
Totally with you.
Okay, that means
Last point on that is that I have my personal, like I'm really bad at like checking email, and so like it's gonna be worse with Facebook Messenger for me if you send me something on a Friday night, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll think about this on Monday. I will completely forget about it by Monday because it's on Facebook.
Me too.
and
Yeah.
it's mixed with so many other things. Okay, how about we vote on that? And we are now talking about the co-op. What are the co-op members willing to work with?
And Facebook.
And who is for using Slack for the informal communication, organized via channels?
Okay, this is like pretty much unanimous.
Well, let's see.
Can I make a suggestion? Can we put it in, I know we're going to be doing this anyway, but like a review cycle. So after 6 months, if it's not working.
You can
Yeah.
always, you can propose it any time, right? That's the
Yeah.
point.
I mean, this doesn't go into the bylaw.
There is no need for a cycle.
Maybe you can have
It's-
a permanent work group about food.
I'm checking.
Yeah,
how
why
long
not?
the
Just first thing.
No, I don't know.
So,
Okay, so now we have the document storage, the external formal communication, and the internal informal.
Not completely. So what is
Communication.
core official internal communication? Like how do we notify members about something?
Slack.
No, we just said Slack is only for informal discussions.
Email.
Is it possible, I don't use Slack as much as you guys, but is it possible to have a Slack channel that's like the chairperson channel and we nominate the person who is chairperson for that year?
But it will still be only temporary.
No, of course you can have like an official announcements channel, and
Yes,
we
this
should
is what I
have
was gonna
that,
say, yes.
definitely, but I agree that important stuff should also go out on email.
Yeah.
Okay, like a warning or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's absolutely no reason we can't send important stuff out through every channel possible so that it's like, we're having an emergency vote next Tuesday.
No, but
We
there's
hope to
one
get this
channel
in Slack
that we use,
and
right?
email.
There's one channel we use. Of course, you can send it to any channel, but you determine like how is official core business communicated to members.
I think official business should be communicated on the announcement Slack channel and via email.
And why,
And
why
email
double?
or on email.
You write an email and then also.
Okay, so
Because
let's say
people are not paying, if it's really important.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just makes
Are we
sense.
following order still or what? Okay, so I think if it's official communication that we want to have a log of, we should have an email list with all the member emails, like using MailerLite, like this free for a small amount of members, and then just email it that way, so we have a log. Like Slack, you can put it there just as an announcement, but you should, like for the logs, you should have official thing. That's the obvious solution.
okay,
Should we vote on this?
okay, any proposal for approval?
Mailing list announcement and what.
Like I proposed MailerLite, which is a free thing if you have as well.
Okay, so
What for do we need it?
Like, so if there is any official communication somehow that the Coop wants to send to all members, right? Then you want to have a log of this. If you put it only in Slack, it goes away, right?
Okay, but why do we need an extra tool for that?
Yeah,
Because Slack doesn't cover it.
No,
So
but
then-
we have your regular mail.
So then-
yes,
Yeah,
regular
who's
mail.
managing the mail
Whether
list?
do we need to go into MailerLite?
What is MailerLite?
It's
Exactly.
like MailChimp, it's
It's like MailChimp.
an email campaign platform.
Why do we? I don't understand.
Because then
Could you
if you,
please explain
because if
why
you log
I need
into
it?
MailerLite, then you will see all the official, I mean, in this case, official announcements you've made to everybody. But you can do it from the chairman or chairwoman email address as well.
Yeah.
But then you have a BCC thing, and then please do BCC, then not CC.
Okay.
I'm fine with either, but
And
It
I
just
think the
makes sure
advantage
it's
is that
BCC.
it's centralized, right? So if I need to maintain now the current member list, when I send an announcement as an official function, it's like super inconvenient because everyone will have a different list after a while. But if we have a central list where we say, okay, all the members are in this list, and this is how they get the emails, we just send one email to one list.
This list could be on Google Drive as well, and it should only.
Yeah, but then you
be
copy
used-
paste it every time.
I would just do a forwarding email. Basically, you have one inbox, one XYZ Gmail account, and this one just forwards to the one central mailing list we have. That does the trick.
Okay.
Well, I think, I mean, at the very least, we don't have to tag these emails in those email addresses as announcements because they're official things that you may want to find like easily. Like it's going to be very easy that these emails are going to be drawn out in other emails that those official email addresses are doing. So I really would recommend that we put like this in a MailerLite system. But, I mean, I'm happy to be outvoted on this. But
I also want to have a system. The reason is if we have a BCC or whatever mailing list and people answer, then you have the discussion in the mail. If it's something that only official can send something to for official business, you can't even answer to it. So you need to answer another chat. Yeah, but it goes nowhere.
Okay.
No reply.
My question is, what does Coop use already for its mailing list?
We use MailChimp, but it can use MailerLite. I mean, it could be any tool.
It makes sense to me to just keep both lists in the same account.
Yeah, you can do that.
I agree with
Plus, MailChimp has how much? 2,000 or so?
12,000 free emails per month.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean? The official announcements will be sent via MailChimp.
Yes.
And
Another
did we also say
No, it comes to your email.
Pardon?
Did we
It comes
also
as your
say we
email.
will
Official
send out
email.
the announcements channel on Slack as well? Just the backup.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah, it's both.
It's easier.
Just
I mean, you
increase
can
effort.
even link to the MailChimp link.
Just a one-line thing, email sent, please acknowledge.
And you can email, you can link to the preview of the email.
Put Zapier.
Oh.
Jackie. Just do it.
Yeah, but announcement channel is good.
You also send me a letter. I'd really like
A postcard.
And maintain all the different addresses that everybody goes.
Okay, this was another topic, the official announcements. Could you please have?
Can we vote on the?
I would ask for reading it one more time, and then, if you agree, I will ask for voting.
Communication.
Okay, so no. Temporary Slack, but permanent. No, we don't have a CRM yet or the project management yet.
Okay.
Agreed.
Who is
Agreed.
who agrees with this?
Agreed.
Very nice.
Okay, fine.
Shall we take a look at the liquid feedback? I think this is a good
Yes, that would be great actually, but I cannot install it. I mean, I don't find it actually.
It's not a good start. No, not a good start.
Yeah, just one for a general example, so we
Just
all
so I
get
know
an
what
idea.
it looks like.
Isn't there like a demo? Usually there's demo
What
websites,
if you
right?
put the tool
Does
in
it
our
cost
bylaws and then it
something?
goes offline and we cannot vote anymore? How does that work in the Coop?
How about we?
Okay.
Someone
Plans
takes the task to check liquid feedback. When I googled it, I saw a few others doing something similar. I wouldn't.
No, it's
I
not
wouldn't
about
say it
deciding
has to
between
be.
them. It's not about deciding between them. It's just in general how they work.
Yeah.
This maybe
Do
something.
we want to watch this video?
Yeah, just watch the video, you know, because I think maybe it's not clear to anybody how this.
feedback looks like. It all starts with an idea and letting others know about it by creating initiatives.
This is this thing.
Maybe suggest improvements.
Start the video.
Too, and what I think it's nice about this thing is this, like, you can propose additional initiatives, and what I think is the main thing really of all of this is you don't have this spoiler effect where you can vote multiple things like in a specific order, because otherwise if it's a yes or no vote, you often get this spoiler effect where it's like, oh, I will choose the lesser of two evils instead of the thing I really want. If you can order it, this is better for real democracy, not just the you avoid spoiler effect.
I was going to say that I also like it too, but if we use this, we have to reconsider changing the bylaws to adapt this to, for example, this special voting in order things, which is not in the bylaws right now. And also, does this allow for having some person supporting the proposal? So these kind of things we discussed before, right? But now we may have to change because of this too. And do we want to? And should we?
So we need to introduce preferential voting.
Yeah, in the bylaws, and see if we can do the.
Or decide if we're not going to use that feature in this.
Do we have to do that now to change our bylaws because of the tool? Because we aren't even sure if.
So
Okay, but this could be it.
No, but I mean, technically, if we then do use this type of voting and it's not in the bylaws, it's illegal voting.
No, it's not true.
I would basically like to ask the question, can everybody imagine using a tool like this for our decision finding?
That's what I was going to say.
I think
Who agrees?
this is better than polls.
I have a question.
I'm visualizing it right there.
Mhm.
I have also a question here first.
I think it is an important question to ask what type of decisions are we gonna make by this, and what type of decisions are we gonna do on general meetings? Like, are these the daily decisions that we're doing on Liquid, or some more important? Because even if you look on a by law perspective, it is the General Assembly taking the decisions and appointing the management committee to implement these decisions and make them happen. And if it is for a daily management, it is the decisions of the management board that count.
Okay, sorry, Connor was at first.
I think I was first
Okay,
in the
sorry.
beginning, but I think that this question does not apply because even the small votings will be then later on in the General Assembly in the notes. This is what we discussed beforehand. The other thing is, I think rather than voting for this tool, I think we need to have it mandatory. We need to, who is for that, but it's like we cannot escape it, right? I think that's more important.
I was also say, just for accountability, I see that there are some stuff that is good to be discussed within the general meeting, but basically even then we should still put the vote in there, so everybody, like, this is our tool for voting.
Yeah, there's only one real
Even
voting
though we all
platform.
sit in one table.
Yeah, no spoiler effect again during the meetings.
Does this
either.
thing keep track on voting and like data for the past?
It's a professional.
It should. If not, then we need another one that does that.
Or we
Okay.
print it out.
Oh.
No,
You want to be careful?
because for the documents,
No.
PDF is printing.
Why do we need it for? Remy?
Yeah, related to either the tools and do we have to change the bylaws in accordance to the tools? I think we have to make the distinction between the decisions and the use and the tools within the groups and for day-to-day decisions, and for the assembly, for example. Of course, in the assembly, it will be yes, no, abstention. But on a work mode, the alternatives, as they sense, but on my opinion, we don't have to put that in the bylaws because it's just the group works, group way of working together and decide.
I think we have to find out that, and we just agreed that we could imagine to use a professional tool like that for voting. I think it was nothing more for now.
Yeah.
Or was it?
I mean, for official voting.
Even for smaller votings,
So-
if you are all over
Coffee
in the
machine.
world or coffee
Yeah,
machine or whatever, I don't want to do this via Slack, email, or calling. I would send a vote out like via this tool. If you are sitting, we are responsible, and if you are sitting across of mine, I would ask you, and then maybe we would
So
later
then
on use
maybe
this tool.
all of us is asking the wrong questions. Maybe the right question is what decisions would need to be approved by the whole co-op, I mean voted, and to what extent and level should the management board be able to make their own decisions without putting everything to vote?
It's a good question, but again, no, not again. we are now with the tools and the way we work together. That's more a content related question. Which question? But maybe Matthias is taking it.
Well, I have a similar remark. Like, where does this tool end, and where does like project management for like marketing team or PR team or whatever teams end, and where does it stop, and where also is the general management, like the official one?
It's a good point, but it's not about the tools for now.
Did we vote on the fact that we want to put every decision, every vote in this tool?
We didn't.
Don't have to, because it's not the current point of discussion. We didn't vote on it.
And it goes into this direction. Where does it start and where does it end?
And my point about that would be that we have this control board already, so let's just hope that the legal setup is enough. I mean, we can.
So, I mean, let's not discuss this now because it really doesn't fit here. But I think there's another discussion there that needs to happen.
About the level of decisions that
Yeah.
can be taken without vote.
Okay. I mean, I think that what we need to have is this a tool that we are interested in using in general? The exact specifics of how we use it will change based on some of our other conversations.
Yeah.
But this, I think, is the important part.
If this is the vote, answer is yes.
Yes.
From everyone.
Yes. Okay. We agreed.
Next one.
So moving on.
Did we vote?
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
yeah, we voted
Yes,
in the
yes.
very beginning.
5 minutes ago.
Okay.
There's so many votes.
So
What am I voting for?
Okay. Project management. Any suggestions?
So it's, I guess, Asana,
Trello.
someone else, something else maybe?
Are there projects that need to be managed on a co-op-wide scale?
Yes, maybe.
Right, because this is the only one we need to agree on, and I think with like marketing-wise, this is up to the marketing team to decide how they want to work.
Yes, that will be.
This is what I said earlier.
And
Sorry.
okay, Peter.
Like, I'm pretty much against those tools. I mean, we can use them on a case-by-case basis, but I mean, in my own company, which I own 100%, we have Asana, we have Figma, we have Pivotal Tracker, and I never check those things because I don't care about them. So I really doubt that people will care enough about like how is the tech team doing this or how is this team doing that. At least I won't. And so then the question is there any legal obligation for us to track this permanently? And I don't think there is. So therefore, I would say freedom to the teams.
What I said earlier.
I'm against that freedom because the teams can change very quickly, and then you have within the cooperative hundreds of tools because the team leader now says we use Asana, Trello, or Kanban or whatever, and the next team leader switches it.
That's true.
Do you think
However,
that Slack group would work?
I have one comment to this. If you say the teams are basically self-managed and self-run, then there's very little projects that will carry on from one marketing to the next marketing team because the other marketing team might have totally different priorities.
Yes.
Okay.
I suggest Slack group for a particular project, and once decision is taken and has to be implemented or kind of like saved for the future, put it on either email or Google Drive as document.
Okay.
Is it possible to have an account in Asana or Trello and then on a case-by-case basis, say the marketing team is given a project, say, all right guys, we have a space to work on it, we can use it or not. It's a shared space, but it's up to you whether you want to use it.
Absolutely.
It's
So
only
that's
individual teams
providing
deciding their own.
Or at least
Okay.
facilitating the use of an Asana co-op account. It's there, so we don't have to keep setting a new thing up every time.
I agree with this. I think it's like, all we're saying is this is the platform. You don't have to use it. You don't have to check it.
Yeah.
But if you're working on a team who's using it, it makes sense for you to be on there. But if you're not working on it, like some of us might be involved in work where we don't need a project management system, you know? Like if I'm just writing articles as part of the marketing team, I really don't need a project management system. I can just do it. So
So then do we decide on one or do we leave it open that you have a choice?
There's another comment.
I would suggest that we have to keep it as simple as possible. Too much tools, too much different programs, too much apps will make it a mess. If you stick to Slack on one side and then email to the other side, keep it on Slack and move it to email. Or if it is just within a small team, as it is already written, individual teams can decide on their own, do what they want. And whenever you're ready to present it to the public, put it on Slack group or an email or whatever.
Google Drive.
Or Google Drive.
Okay, you can.
Keep it simple.
How about we move to voting for like if individual teams can decide which tools they use because they don't necessarily have to share every single thing.
Yeah.
So internally they can use whatever they want
But it's already written.
for project management or not any tool at all if they don't, if this is not like for the, so can we just vote for that? Because I think everybody seems to agree to this.
Is it agree or comment? Okay.
Okay. So freedom for the teams to decide which tool for internal within their team.
Of course. Okay, then we move on.
Yes, so exactly.
Then officially, you know, the email.
Could you
I,
please vote?
I actually have the same question.
Who was for yes? Please, 1, 1, 2,
Yes for
3,
what?
4, 5, 6,
Each team deciding
on
Sieben.
about standardizing on a project management tool.
Yeah.
8. Okay.
Okay.
And
We can change this decision later.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we'll be 35 people, right? So they might have different opinions.
They will have. They already have. And it's going to get more complicated.
Yes.
Sunday afternoon.
I would say for now, the most important parts of tools we have done.
I agree.
Communication,
Okay.
documents, project management.
Mhm.
GDPR, okay.
Okay. Which other topic on the bylaw list do we want to discuss now?
Loans and other
And-
investment is next.
Dissolution maybe?
Or we can-
Dissolution? Like when is the date we're gonna stop trying to get the money?
Excuse me, what is the date?
Dissolution, when is the date we're gonna stop trying to raise the money? Do we give it 12 months? Do we give it 18 months? That we should discuss right now. It's important.
Whether we will pull the trigger at all, you mean?
Yeah, if you don't get 35 by this date, we just stop the Coop.
I understand.
Who would like to discuss that?
I mean, my quick opinion on it is that it's something we might feel very differently in 6 months. So we might not want to put a date on it now because maybe we want
Well, we
to
can-
extend.
We can change it then, right?
Yes, yeah.
No, I
But
think
do we,
it's in
do
the
we
bylaws
do,
now,
just,
right?
do we discuss about this now?
Everything can be changed.
I want to make a comment on this. I think that we are not in the shoes to choose that, rather than we have to ask the business owners what is the deadline that they want their money back from the business.
That's part of the discussion.
I mean, are they happy with a 12-month obligation or contract, which will answer your question 12 months from today is the deadline.
12 months is very long.
See?
I mean, expensive as well. Yes.
So, but what are we really talking about? Do we talk
mean,
that
we are
if we
talking-
have 32 people and 3 are missing, do we still wait 8 months to get the 3, or what are we talking about?
We talk about July 1st until whatever date you say.
Like when does the co-op have to decide? If this is another discussion. If the co-op decides, okay, now we have only 30 members, then we take the risk that we will find the 5 members later. I mean, I think yesterday we talked about the aim is 6 months, but we have up to 12 months to make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't think if it's longer, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And now if it's 9 months instead of 12 months, also
It doesn't
make a
matter.
difference.
Yeah,
So-
this doesn't matter.
So I think
Okay.
let's say we aim for 6 months, but the option will be up to 12 months.
Okay,
Okay.
12 months is the deadline.
Who is going for that?
Sorry, I didn't
We,
participate.
6 to 12 months. So we have 6 months.
6 to strive for.
Not before 1st of July, but not later than.
Yes.
And I think as an addition to this, we have to ask Matthias in order to confirm a preliminary contract or some kind of agreement that wherever
Yes.
we agree
Mhm.
on buying the 2 companies,
Yes.
the trademark and everything related to the co-working business in Basco, today or in the next 1 month, let's say, if we say we have further clarifications to do, will be valid for the next 12 months.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's gonna be a contract.
Mhm.
For the same
Yes.
price.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's already
Oh,
written.
But-
Yeah, exactly. This is what I also thought that we're going to agree on.
And then who signs the contract? on
The
behalf of the
the
people.
chairman of the co-op will
Yeah,
sign the
exactly.
contract.
So contract will be signed after the co-op is formed, and the chairman will sign it on behalf of the co-op with the existing members. Because for
I mean, the
forming the
contract is
co-op,
Coop and then the owners of Coop and Bansko, right?
yes, exactly. But for forming the co-op will mean that there will be a co-op with, let's say, 12 people or 15 people by the time we form it, even though we won't have enough money to buy the business by then.
Yeah.
But we'll have co-op with 15 members.
Yeah, of course.
And then the co-op will have to officially accept another 10, 15, whatever members in order to get their capital.
But what is new in what you're saying?
Peter.
Okay. So I think what we put in, we use as an option to buy. We have like at the end of the year, the contract will be with Uwe and Matthias, and yeah, so we aim as a co-op. I think we aim to have however many people now. If we have at least 7, we can form a co-op. I think we have 7 at the end of the day that want to form the co-op.
Yeah.
And then we just need to get the legal process started, to get the bylaws, blah, blah, blah. As soon as this is set up, we can make the contract.
As soon as possible, make the contract. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. That was
If we are done with this point, I think we have 25 minutes left before the deadline of 4 to conclude. I think if we want to attract members, we have to develop a bit more the members' benefits. Maybe not much more. As we said, it's too early to fix the list. But
Not by, oh, sorry.
But maybe just to say it can be amongst this, and it will be decided by the co-op at the formation date, 1st of July or something like that.
okay. Jürgen?
In terms of marketing, I'm more thinking about marketing.
I would say yes, in marketing material, we should have things that like we decided upon that will be member benefits, but putting it into the bylaws makes it too difficult to change it later on, or more difficult at least.
Yeah.
So saying like in the first 1 or 2 years, like the board has like, we will only reevaluate in this like when the general thing is. So at least till the next general meeting, these benefits will be the ones you get.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's
We are
consider
more
it's
now
it's
with the
one of
bylaws.
first, marketing task.
What could be the next topic of the list of bylaws?
Does it make sense to talk about the Friends of Coop Bansko? So have some fleshing out of what it exactly means?
Maybe it's more.
Not a bylaw thing again.
My preference is, again, to do with attracting people, membership requirements. How do you become a member of the co-op?
Didn't we have that already?
Yeah, but it's on the list now.
Now we had membership
Requirements.
Yes.
So this was like if we want to accept criminals into the co-op.
Okay, I'm just.
What boxes should you tick so that you can be accepted? Not only paying the membership fees.
Is that the most pressing topic?
I just figured it's a quick one. Get it out of the way.
You would think so.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
We thought tools would be good.
Can we, or maybe flesh out the loans and other investments? I just think in general, everything involving big financial decisions should be more fleshed out right now.
And also, I think that we have to spend 20 minutes, maybe a quick break in 20 minutes, of really discussing the working groups. How are we gonna?
This is the last hour, no?
So there's 2 aspects to this. I think there need to be working groups from tomorrow until purchase of the co-working space. And then there need to be later a definition of the working groups to actually run the co-op.
So I think that's an important topic. And let's get 5 minutes break. And
I mean, for the
Focus
first part of figuring out the working groups from tomorrow till the purchase of the co-working space, we have said we do this after 4 and have a full hour for it.
that's fine. As you, I'm just pointing that we must do this today.
Yeah. Meeting structure, because I mean, we're going to have meetings.
Meeting structure?
Isn't that something else? Like
We put it somewhere, I don't know where.
Well, it's defined by law.
meetings.
Well,
We've
we
put a couple of notes in.
Yeah.
I mean, I just mean, are we going to have any meetings between now and June 1st? like official ones
Yes.
that we all need to be involved in.
Yes, upon making the co-op happen. Once the preparation from a team is ready, in 1 month or in 2 months, there has to be such kind of meeting.
I would agree, at least 1 month between, or sorry, 1 meeting, if not 2, between now and June 1st.
It's mandatory to
Not in person,
to settle it up.
but
You have to have such.
Yeah, we have to do how a whole meeting looks like.
I mean, the first few meetings are going to be pretty rough.
And another topic that I want to raise and discuss as well is in between the transaction period from now until the co-working Basco is bought from the co-op, we need to make clear for everyone and transparent, most importantly, how co-working Basco will be managed and how the money flow as income and as expense will be distributed so that the co-op interest is protected.
I think we already said this. So from now until then, we will start the shadowing, which means the co-op can do whatever the co-op thinks to do in terms of governance. They can vote on everything. We will make all the minutes, everything transparent. The co-op can vote how we do it, but until the purchase is done, Uwe and I overrule this. However, we commit to not take out any salaries or dividends from the business. So either the money will be reinvested or will stay in the bank account. And about the reinvestment, the co-op can already provide guidance and vote on stuff. Only if you start buying horse breeders, whatever, then Uwe and I will probably overrule this.
Are you happy and is Uwe happy for someone overlooking your heads and in your books?
Yes, you can see all everything, right. Not only the books, you can see the notes, you can get access to
anything that the co-op members wish to.
Well, everything that exists, it's full. The idea is that the working groups will start forming, right? There should also be like this co-working operations group should start to form. Everyone should start putting their time in. We will provide access to everything, and then so
it's the same thing, just with a veto for them.
Okay, sorry, going back to the bylaws. Are there any more points from the bylaws we have to discuss now?
I think nothing we can discuss within this.
The friends of.
If we have time left, I would talk about the big financial investments, but I don't think we have time.
I think
But that's somewhere in there.
To just be transparent also to the other, to attract the members, to say, okay, what we want to achieve with this co-op, the goals and vision should be clear, defined. It should be, it could be something cool and rosy, but should be defined and
I'll say that incentives will be more interesting for attracting the new potential co-op members. The benefits that they might get if they become such.
There is one big benefit: you can buy a business for below the market price. That's the one big benefit we need. That's all we need.
And have input into how it will grow.
I'm coming from the point that we spent 3 days here and we know absolutely everything in details. But for these new people, you will present a sheet of paper and say, will you put your money on this? That's what I mean.
Yes.
That's the first task of the marketing team.
All effort for the marketing team.
Yes,
already.
And Philip, you're the marketing team.
You are the marketing.
And that's doing the marketing team.
Can we please avoid this pointing fingers to
the marketing team?
Okay, no special need for your financial investments. Maybe before we're having a break. You wanted to talk if nothing else is on the table.
Like, if we're gonna borrow like a huge amount of money, like does it need special majority? Like
yes.
Is there a threshold of what is a huge amount?
Probably
over.
Is there something? Yeah, some type of leverage we never want to do. Like, do we never want to go above whatever asset value compared to loan value, something like that?
I believe that Efton and maybe Matthias might know this, but I think it's pointed out that any loan triggers supermajority.
Exactly.
Is this not true?
Yes, exactly. I think I have the same.
That's by law.
Even if it's
by law.
So we can also, I suggest we could make a percentage of the revenue, of a monthly revenue, which is allowed to spend without a greater majority. And if this threshold is exceeded, then we need to have the rest involved.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe also related to this, maybe
this
it's not the
this is
actually
totally
topic,
different.
but can the chairman or can the team run at a loss without our pre-approval?
So I think how this should be done is there should be an annual budget, right?
Yes.
So generally, the General Assembly should approve a budget. If
Sorry, guys.
I don't know if you're leaving or having side discussion, but so I think the way how this is normally done is the General Assembly has some general plan about what is the financial plan for next year. We have a control board and maybe a financial person who can propose this and say, okay, so this is the budget for next year. And this also, of course, covers all the working people if you need money for the website or if you hire a designer or if you hire staff and so on. If during the year we find out that there's budget deviations, so maybe there's less revenue or there's more cost, then there should probably be a threshold where then, the General Assembly needs to approve a new budget or needs to approve budget changes, or at least whoever is running this function needs to raise it to get a new budget approved.
Yes, but if a chairman or a team goes above a budget, there is no personal liability, it's just a trust-based thing.
I'm not so sure about this. I think, at least for the chairman, this is breach of fiduciary duty. It's the same for the person who is managing the business. If the owners give you specific instructions and without good reason and against all the policies that we put in place, you do something different, then this is breach of fiduciary duty.
I think you can fire someone, but I don't think you can sue the CEO of a company for spending too much.
Yes, you can. If you breach the fiduciary duty, you can. And this is actually not a civil offense, this is a criminal offense.
And go back to loans and other investments, where we got what is the thresholds, and if a huge building comes on sale for 20,000, or not huge building doesn't want it, but if a property comes on sale for 20,000 euro, is that above the threshold?
Yes, for any loan, even one left loan.
Oh, but not, sorry, I mean like a cash purchase. If we have 20,000 euro in cash and a building comes up.
I think property purchases.
Is it in the budget? Is it in the budget?
Just a second.
I think that property purchases, like asset purchases like that, fall under the legal requirements for a supermajority.
Okay.
Within
Let's
the
hear something
Bulgarian
in the
law.
budget.
Okay.
But one question I have is like, what counts as an asset? Because yes, if you
Yes.
technically this is an asset, this cup, yes, this doesn't require a supermajority. So it would be interesting to have more clarification on at what point is something an asset that requires a supermajority
By the
versus
Bulgarian
a chance.
Is this important for now, or would it be too detailed?
Maybe, but I would say you can define it, if you can borrow from a bank against it, it's probably an asset.
No, by the Bulgarian law, assets are divided by short-term assets and long-term assets. By long-term assets, they mean real estate, land, or whatever. Short-term assets is, for example, office equipment,
Coffee machine.
coffee machine. Car is a mid-term asset.
Because he's going back.
These are the types of assets that you have by law. And I'm not 100% sure about how the co-op or law structure works, but for the different type of assets, the general meeting should decide with different majority, and most importantly, these things have to be set up in the budget. So this year, we make up a budget for next year, and we say, okay, we put in the budget 20,000 less euros, whatever, to buy a long-term asset. It might be the house, it might be other office, it might be land, but this is the budget for long-term asset. Then we decide, additionally, when we have on the market, let's say 3 different proposals, we decide on which of the 3 we will spend the 20,000 that we have already prepared for that. This is how it works.
And we can decide if this, for example, then is a decision of the general manager to buy assets up to 20,000, or of the actual purchase of this is still something that the co-op needs to decide. Because you will have costs where it doesn't make sense to vote on it. So let's define we will have 5,000 left for all kind of supplies, including coffee and pellets and whatever.
These are running costs.
These are running costs, right?
Yeah,
but we have a
these are
budget
running
for it,
costs.
and whoever is running this business or this function in the co-op will have this budget for these things. They cannot spend it on
the AGM for running costs.
Yeah, they
It's
cannot.
just a budget.
They cannot spend it on anything that's totally different. And if they see that if they will go over it, then they have to get a new budget approved. And if they don't do it, then there's a problem. Yes. And they will break kneecaps.
Spending money in a company is very simple and legally spread.
Okay,
Anything else?
Okay.
Having the company
Okay,
to
for
fund.
now with the investments and loans.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's have a break.
Okay.
Word.
We need a hammer, actually.
Good stuff, Uwe.
Hey?
Good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like this is going on the biohacker website. I've significantly improved the taste, by the way. So if anybody wants to try it, I've
What
added,
what
I've added more
exactly is
sugary
it?
stuff. Oh, it's a combination of a whole lot of things. Like,
I want to try it.
there's between 20
Our prices are in euro.
Alright. I'm fine with both. Just don't mess up with dollars, yens, and all the other shitty stuff. Less in euros, okay, nothing else.
Absolutely.
So have we put the deadline or not? Is this question solved?
Yes, we said everyone who's here now.
Which includes remote.
So this includes remote.
Okay. Could we go ahead?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Connor is still outside, but I think
He will be back in 1 minute.
I suggest we vote and make a list of who wants to participate in this co-op. In addition, I suggest we vote 1 week or 2 weeks for entering that list and paying this €150.
yes, sure.
How about starting a list?
Of course.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, should we do this now as the first thing, or
I'm just asking.
It's actually nice if you would like open a spread. Would be a nice way to also point responsibilities.
Yeah.
Put it down next to the name. It's not a bad thing.
Okay, so first we sign our name on the list, and then we start with responsibilities. Is that the proposal?
Why don't you write the names there?
I will write the names here, but everyone has to sign on the list as well.
Of course.
Whatever.
I think that number 1 should be done. Number
Okay.
1 and 2.
First name is Matthias.
Yeah, I mean we're starting a blank paper, so
You can just say it, right?
Okay, so I
Deciding
pledge
to
my
play paper,
allegiance to the co-op.
What?
I pledge my allegiance to the co-op and will contribute €150 in the next week.
I want to be part of the co-op as well.
Okay, sounds really as exciting as mine. Okay,
And numbers in front, because we're counting 15.
okay, Andrea.
Mhm.
What's your name? Karin.
Karin, and Ralf Westphal.
Do you have a proxy for him?
Yes, I do have. I talked with him yesterday night.
Shall
Even
we
for
put,
the 2000.
shall we put also the email address in the same?
Yeah, but I don't have the email address now. Let's first put
Maybe
the name,
later.
and then somebody, we can put a name next to the task of making all this very nice.
Everybody has Facebook to everyone else.
Is it like this, Westphal?
Yes.
Okay. How? Okay. Kitzinger?
Kinz.
Kinzinger?
Kinzlinger.
Kinzinger. Okay, nice
Yes.
name. I like it. Peter?
I will commit fully to the orange life.
Peter Jan Silis?
I'm orange up at the end, but
One L? There's only one L.
That's an I.
Oh yeah, whatever. It's CELIS.
So that's one I.
Okay.
Silis, okay. Judith?
Dobre.
Judith? What's your name?
B-I-Z.
What? Base.
Oh,
I'm happy to say yes.
Remy, what's your last name?
Lasset. L-A-S-S-E-T.
Okay.
Yes.
Goldman.
Yeah, spelling it wrong. but it's okay.
Okay, how do we spell? One more L?
Three P's. No, 1 L, 3 P's. 2 P's in the
Two
front,
P's,
of course.
okay. Goldman, 2 N, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Colin?
But only if you spell my name right. One more time.
What? Colin?
no.
C-O-N-O-R.
Hello? What? Okay. Stolen?
I would like to be more friend of school.
Okay. Somebody sitting behind you? Ryan? Ryan? Charlatan? Jürgen?
As they say in the Netherlands, we love orange. Wij houden van oranje.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
The Netherlands is way better than the French part. I would prefer Flanders to go with Netherlands.
KYU POV. KYU POV. KYU POV.
But yes, historically, not so good.
Over V, not W. V. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Remote people?
Remote people on the remote.
I've asked Clement, he hasn't replied, but then we went on the break, so I'm not quite sure whether he's back.
I think Patrick gave us a preliminary yes, if I understand.
Patrick, yes, said he's very happy.
Just
with
put a question mark behind it, but this seems to be a done deal.
Guys, we have only one more slot on 150. Hurry.
No, we said a maximum of 25.
No.
Oh, we did what?
No.
I said everybody that's basically within this group. Participants to the weekend.
Until the 19th.
And also the remote.
There was no limit here. Look, I have it on
Participants of the weekend.
The remote
on this,
But 25 then.
but the 25 is here. Okay, we are here at the 150.
But the remote people need to have also the chance
The
to
remote
participate.
people can participate even if they all come in.
Yes, that's true.
Do they have a deadline to decide? So
Yes.
Yeah.
I will message them afterwards. They have to decide today as well.
So now we can start.
By spending 75 euros, you save 50 euros.
So now we can promote 11 spots at this moment to other people?
Not yet.
Not yet, because he wants to contact the
remote.
the memberships and the remotes.
We can already take a waiting list in order, list in order.
Confirm with him
Gets 200 and who gets 450.
the next 24 hours if they want in at the 150 euro level.
I think so.
Can you put the 20th of November as a deadline for 150 euro?
Why?
Just a week.
It's too long.
Is it too long?
We voted.
So for the 200 for the members, but for the remote people, they can either say no, same as us.
No, for paying the 150, I mean.
No, we had the 19th for the 200.
Not even
Okay, so this is a totally different.
This is yes, sure. I mean, we thought like that the people who are here get the benefit of the 150, right?
Yeah.
And the people who are not participating have a higher entry level.
No, now the question.
No, I mean
is,
physically
where's the
paying.
150? Where's your 150?
Yeah,
now? Where is it? Where is it?
I have 100 straight away.
Oh fuck! This is starting.
I think I have 100.
Does Bansko has enough cash for it all?
Okay.
That's what I mean. Physically, when you get this 150, I don't have it in my pocket. It's Sunday afternoon.
Almost.
Is this what's happening now?
Okay, so I think now we should assign somebody who is responsible for finances, and that person can then collect the money somehow. So let's put some functions that we need and put some names to it. In one of these functions, somebody needs to collect the 150, however selected.
Is this collected by co-working Bansko?
No. This has nothing to do with us.
So we need to have a separate bank account. When the people
First, there needs to be a co-op, but it could be that the person who is the finance person, because maybe Efton wants his money up front. I mean, he's always like, Matthias, give me money.
I vote for Judith. Women are always better in that.
No. This is not. No.
Okay, so I think 2 steps. First step is like, what functions do we need for this transition period?
Yeah.
Second step, who are the names that we can put next to these functions?
Define transition period.
The transition period is from now to starting the co-op, right? So taking all this, getting people, making sure that we actually have the legal structure, that we have bylaws, starting all the setup of the tools that we discussed.
Which might take 2 months, maybe.
Assigning who is shadowing the co-working operations now, figuring out how the work is assigned and so on, until the point when the co-op purchases the co-working space. I think at that point, it makes sense to come up with new functions, because then the operations will be very different compared to this
and more official.
And more official. So I think now is to figure out like, how do we get to actually creating the co-op legally, finding the remaining co-op members, and then purchasing co-working Bansko and doing the shadowing this period.
I think that everybody has to answer the question, is he or she going to be in Bansko in the next 2 to 3 months? Because for this, I believe the person should be nearby.
No.
For some functions, I think this is true. For others, this is not true.
Can we make the list of functions?
Let's first start with the listing of function, right?
Yeah, right. I agree.
So I think we need someone who are finance, and to me this includes handling the co-op money, plus maybe auditing the co-working Bansko accounts.
Why not separate it?
You can also separate it if you want. Okay.
Additional to this is also the budgeting process, huh?
For now, we don't need a budget because the only expenses that the co-op will have will be for the accountant and for the lawyer.
The co-op doesn't own co-working yet.
Okay.
The thing is also to using this information to put it on budget for the next year.
No, not yet.
No, we don't have a budget anyways. I mean, besides of the 150 we collect.
Okay,
Co-working Bansko has a budget, but the co-op doesn't.
No, we don't have a budget. Uwe just said we don't have a budget.
Oh.
Just when we need stuff, we buy it. In the future, we will have a more structured process to do this.
Legal is also a thing we need to do right now. Like somebody to follow it after.
When you put it together, it's
Okay,
like
let's
too
not-
much for some people, so that's why they get scared. If
Okay.
you divide it,
Okay,
somebody only collecting.
Okay, no side talks, please.
So Miroslav is proposing that we separate finance, meaning handling the co-op money, and this is the joining fee, and then collecting the 2,000, opening a bank account maybe once we have the co-op. So somebody needs to be responsible for this finance aspect of the co-op. I think it would be good if someone in the co-op.
We said we put the list of the functions first and then we put the people to it, right?
Yeah, this is the other function. So the second function, if somebody would actually check if most of the stuff that we told you this weekend is true. I mean, I don't know because I can't read Bulgarian accounts. So
And I think this must be somebody outside. But first we put the list of functions, right?
There was an ID coming back there.
We need legal, somebody to follow up with Afton and make sure everybody knows about any important updates. That's it.
follow up with Efton and also make sure we have bylaws and create bylaws that we can then approve.
Yeah.
There goes the $100.
Okay.
I think we need somebody to supervise, help, maintain, and be part of the building the second place.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good
great one.
Even though it's going to be your money and it's going to be you deciding the majority of the things, we need to have somebody.
Yeah, that's a great one. I agree
on that.
So then, do we also need marketing there already?
Absolutely, we need to sell the rest of the spots.
Yes.
But marketing both for this Coop offer as well as for the Bansko as a whole, right?
I mean, I would suggest, because we're also not only 14 people now and not 35 people, that first we figure out what does the co-op itself need.
Yeah.
Assign people. If we see we have people left over, which would be great, they can start shadowing co-working Bansko. We have a list of things, of projects that we can start and stuff like this.
Because each of these things is one person, right? Or am I misunderstanding?
I think
We don't know yet.
But there should be at least one name. It needs one or more people, but
One
according to us, one head.
I would say marketing for selling the co-op slots to start with.
Yes.
Nothing else at the moment.
Oh, yeah, or like selling the co-op idea, which is mainly selling, like not marketing for co-working Bansko, but this marketing is for the co-op. and what we need
Exactly.
at this moment.
Exactly.
But second tier, we can also put down marketing for Coop Bansko, but only if you have people left, right? So split them up in first and second tier.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So do we actually do the like the co-op needs to have a chairhuman, management committee, and a control board, right? Do we also set out these functions already?
We have to discuss this as
We
well.
have to.
So
Another
then can you put down chairman or chairhuman and management committee, it's called, and control board?
Okay. For this, I suggest that currently we don't assign a name because we don't have the bylaws yet, and probably also don't understand what this really means. So we will have some people that will later need to
You
step.
have to explain them to
on the tasks we need somebody working on the contract for purchasing co-working.
That's legal.
I would
No,
put this
legal
in.
is just explaining the bylaws.
I mean, it's creating the bylaws, right? So legal needs to, whoever is responsible for legal needs to present the bylaws to the group. Can we also make presenting the contract to the group part of legal, or is this separate? Should be. Okay. Create bylaws that we can improve.
If
And
we allow
present
every team to work independently, you also have to present
contract.
it too, right?
draft.
Is the contract we do, you guys, is this part of the maybe the auditing person?
So I think the auditing person, it's like just due diligence, right?
Yeah.
So I think somebody should come to me at Uber and say, hey, can you show me where actually all this stuff is? Can you show me if you actually have a bank account? And then this person, normally, this is like the control board, should report to the group and say, okay, I looked at these things, and most of these things look good, but Uwe bought like 3 kilos of gold that we can't find anymore. And this creates a little bit of a red flag.
Okay, the other way around, should anybody monitor the contracting we do with you about the option? The
But this will be the whole group, right? So somebody is creating the draft for the contract and presenting it, and then the group votes. What we also need, we need somebody who is starting to set up tools, especially liquid feedback.
So what I was just gonna say is like, the only thing personally that like I could see myself doing any of these things. The only thing that I really am bad at is any kind of.
We are not there yet, I think. We are still with the.
We're still bulleting the points.
We're going there soon.
Cool.
You'll get your chance
No side conversations. I'm sorry.
Anything else?
Is accounting under finance, like follow the accounting going forward, is under auditing? Because auditing normally is from the past, right? So what from now on?
So these are two different things, right? The finance is handling the Coop money, which means the joining fee, paying then later the accountant, paying the lawyer. The auditing is related to the Coop Bansko accounting.
Yes.
It's a different accounting. I mean, the finance is the Coop money. The auditing is the Coop Bansko money.
These numbers which we presented need to be seconded by somebody.
I understand what auditing is, but I'm wondering, accounting going forward from once we start a Coop is a separate function.
As I said, I think the task will change at this after this transition. So once the Coop owns the co-working space, the functions will be different.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there will probably be like a control board that's auditing all the accounts.
Okay, but then so then do you agree that following up the accounting even going forward, the next 6 months is still under auditing?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's somebody.
What about, I sort of heard this mentioned, but I don't see it up there. Starting to work with Uwe and Matthias regarding the operations of the space, documenting the processes and starting.
That was my proposal. So shadowing the work of co-working Bansko.
Yep. That way, if we could start having it a bit like written down and organized from the transition period, it will make it probably a lot easier.
Is it worth also splitting these between things that can be done remotely and things that you have to be here for the next 3 months?
I would suggest that everybody can volunteer for each of these first before we.
I'm just conscious because I'm leaving in 2 weeks. And we're going to be in
I mean, my feeling is this could be remote. Or the marketing can be remote to some extent. Help with opening a second space should be here. Legal, auditing could be remote, but it's probably better here. Could be remote in the worst case, but much better.
Case remote.
Finance, I think, can to some extent be remote for now. I mean, of course, not if you put in cash, but
I mean, we can have more than one person on these. So
Yes,
it's like one person
somewhat.
takes the money, another one.
You can join the team without being the head.
be remote. Had this opening space needs to be here. Shadowing, I think it can be, if there's multiple people, it can be partially remote, right? So we have some documents, if somebody wants to go through the documents and sort them a little bit better in order, but there needs to be a team.
Shall we start putting names next to each? It's about time.
Can you volunteer now? Or?
Yeah, I think we volunteer. Right?
Legal, or the legals?
Okay, anyone else is interested in legal? Do we need more than one person?
Do we need to get Ryan to come down so that he's aware of what's happening?
From what I know from Ryan, he's not a lawyer.
I know, but just for the
I can help with legal as long as I speak Bulgarian and it's the official language, but I am not a lawyer.
So maybe if this is a joint effort.
That's why I say I can help.
One of the persons is on it, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's great.
Is Ryan
I think
coming
that's
down?
He's just
Twice.
using the facilities.
Is it the number one or number two? Can we wait?
Legal or not?
Definitely not legal.
Okay.
I hate legal.
Okay, so let me just circle in the names and we can see later. So we have Peter as well as a proposal. Who volunteers for this financing? I mean, this is like the first step. Who wants to do finance?
Finance where?
Yeah, handling the co-op money.
I can help with the second one, auditing the co-working account.
Let's get a few other names first. So I mean, because otherwise we'll have your name everywhere.
That's true.
So maybe each person we go through the room and you just tell us what you like most.
I could imagine this, but I think it could be fully remotely. You just have an account. For now, it wouldn't matter which account it is, and people have to transfer them just 100 or 150 fee, and that's it.
Okay, great.
I mean, why I said it can be somewhat remote, we have to open a bank account somehow.
Yeah, so we have one person here.
And that
So
needs to
somebody
be a
needs to
Bulgarian
open a bank
resident.
I don't know if you can have a non-Bulgarian bank account, which would make things so much easier.
Philip, don't be shy, Philip.
We could just do like a PayPal account for now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Something like this or
because
some.
this is like an email that everybody could technically access.
Yeah, but you lose fund fees.
No, but this is not the problem.
Just for holding.
The problem is that even just for holding, we cannot pay the accountant from PayPal.
Okay.
And then there's stuff
but
like
can we
Future
open
Pro.
something like N26 or something like this?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, or Holvi. Or...
Yeah, it's all
Yeah, but that
natural
needs-
person.
Yeah, it's only natural
but
person.
I have opened 26.
Revolut might be easy.
I have like an extra Revolut that's technically on the name of my dad or my mother, but they're mine. I control
That
them.
sounds very good.
And I'm not really using them.
I think you're mixing the shading as well into them.
When are you coming back? When are you leaving Brazil?
Tomorrow morning at
what
6:30
In the morning.
in the morning.
Okay, we will not have a bank. Okay, but still, I think you can still do the finances. So let's put you at the head of finance, and we will figure out how we get an account.
Exactly. I
To
would
be-
say the same.
To be honest, I think a Bulgarian bank is a shitty idea because there's even more fees than PayPal.
This is
We're
not.
wiring it from outside of Bulgaria.
Yeah, but
We will need-
one, right?
But we'll need a.
We will need. Exactly.
Yes, but on the
How
co-op's
about-
name, and then we'll have to do
How,
it again.
no,
the whole
no.
thing.
How about just for collecting the money? I would open such an account like Holvi or something, or N26. Someone
super.
else would get the access,
Yes.
and if the money stays there,
Super.
Yeah, this
and
is
we have
what I'm
we
saying.
have all the
Not a
money
Bulgarian one.
together, and if we found the co-op, just transfer the whole amount.
That's okay, but you still
Can I-
need the signing fee to pay for the accountant.
Can I
Wait,
suggest?
what?
We can figure out.
But
this.
everything has a
Can
I
euro
suggest- I suggest Philip can help here on site with this for the people that live or are nearby Bansko and can and want to pay cash. And most importantly, after that, he knows FTM and he can pay to FTM and pay to the accountant. It's an easy fit.
Depends if I have to go to Rasmus to meet FT.
I mean, don't be
Yeah.
complicated. If you are in
Okay, so
charge,
Andrea
I can
opens the
handle the
bank
thing
account.
here locally,
So-
or some of us.
Okay.
Okay, Andrea, to open a Holvi, what do you want? Holvi
I mentioned Holvi. I will
So-
compare them if there is any
And the technicalities actually.
I think important is that somebody is in charge, and then there is always some help. Like
Andrea
we
is
will
in charge.
find
and I'm
Just
happy
put
with
it
that.
on the table and everybody says the teams that you want to join.
And if I will do it this week, then communicate, maybe not tomorrow or the day after, but definitely this week, and then communicate the number, the account number, and then you can transfer the money. Whoever wants to give it in cash to me, I will take it with me. And put it in there, so whatever you want.
Okay, so payment into the account will then happen within 14 days for everyone who commits now, right?
Within 14.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
All good. I'd like to raise my hand for the tools. Nobody else. Claims that.
But I would just do one person at a time, just say the teams you want to join.
Just because I'm going to be gone, so it's one thing I can do without being here.
I'd like to help out with the tools if possible.
Yeah,
Set up.
Philip, what are you raising your hand for?
No, setup tools. If you just put a name on this question and is it also just kind of structuring the drive scripting? Because it's also set up to drive the old drive structure?
No. It's
What
now
kind of
only for
structure?
the core operations from now until the transition. So, only, so I think this mostly concerns liquid feedback, if I understand correctly.
And Slack to get us started and the mailing list.
And maybe what we discussed that we use Hangouts or something for online meetings, so also setting this up.
Yeah.
Okay. So that we can be operational.
Yeah.
Help with the second opening space. Good.
Okay.
What kind of, because we are leaving in mid of December, coming back mid of January. So with the second place, will it be open before, or what do you think?
I mean, so we will meet the guy who's running us tomorrow afternoon. Didn't tell me yet, but we will meet tomorrow afternoon.
I'm not here.
Perfect.
I'm off for the next couple of weeks.
What? Okay, good.
And then you are gone?
This is how it is.
Okay, nice. Okay, good.
When are you going?
I'm leaving on Wednesday, but no worries.
We always saw
What do you
it.
what do you need local?
Okay, so for opening the second space, I think the timeline is they want us to start the rental contract 1st of December. Based on experience, I would think that from tomorrow we need 3 to 4 weeks to get it fully up and running, which means it will open maybe on our second birthday party.
Yeah.
On the 15th of December.
Oh, we can do the party there.
Yes.
As an opening ceremony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. This is a great idea.
Perfect.
So I could have with that as well, but I'm leaving at the 15th, I guess, right? Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure that works.
Pressure deadline.
Okay, but we make Philip.
There's somebody.
What's the question?
Avi is in for 150 euro as a 15th member, and he wants to help Sebastian with the tools if he can.
Okay.
That's a lot of people for the tools.
I mean, as we said, for every function we have one person. I think it's great if there's more people that can be a resource to that person.
That's the entire team.
Yeah.
Maybe we should also mention like the resources.
How do you write Avi? Probably wrong word.
And we still don't have anyone from marketing.
I'm not good to that. I'm
I'm
sorry.
okay for marketing.
Remy, super.
I'm here only until the end of the month.
I think it can be done remotely.
But marketing towards the investors, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If you want someone want to help, I'm happy.
I can give you feedback on the document if you make one. Yes.
What else is there?
Who's helping Andrea with finances?
I could do anything.
I-
I would be
Okay,
interested in
first
helping.
for
I
help.
don't want
Let's-
Are we going by
You want the
round?
first
Help is
place and then help.
help is not so important because somebody's the owner.
Okay, so this is ready. So what is then open?
But no, the question is not that bad. I don't need help, but I would like to have a second amount owner. If I open such an amount, it shouldn't be only mine. Maybe another person can sign in.
And how about people that keep cash locally, like people that want to pay in cash in life?
This is where my question comes from.
Yes.
Philip, raise your hand.
What?
Just say yes.
I mean, I don't mind to take this money in.
Yes, and you then transfer it then to me. You are used to that.
Don't transfer it because then you have to pay fees again to transfer it back
But
here.
the money needs to be on a bank account. The money needs to be on a bank account.
Oh, can pay FTM in euro? What is euro?
We will sort it out. This is our business now, and we will sort it.
Yes.
We have Judith, I think, for opening the second space, and we have Ryan, I think, for
Marketing.
marketing.
No, we have Philip. We have Philip to open
Yeah,
the
but we
second.
have multiple names, right?
If he wants to fill the first name, the responsible, and then
Can
add
we
help.
First, just have everybody tell which team they want to join, and then we
Yeah.
can discuss on the
Yeah.
first person.
Okay, good. So finance is Andrea and Uwe.
Okay, that's done.
That's done. Sebastian is two. Judith, what did Judith say?
So for me, it would be okay the second place. Also for me, okay is to shadowing or documenting the operations.
What do you like better?
Just look to me.
Good names for
Can
us.
you put it for now, just and then we'll see where I'm the head or where I can just.
I would also be interested in shadowing, considering I'm so often here.
Remy, we already
I
put you
said,
for marketing.
yeah.
Peter, we put you for legal. Philip, we put you for the second space. Connor,
I was tools with Sebastian. I understood earlier. Yeah. And Ali would be also.
I'll be as well.
uh,
Avi also.
Avi, baby.
Ryan?
I would like to put my name down for multiple, because this also happens to be my interest. Marketing for sure, second location, and shadowing are all interesting to me.
If we're adding more names to second location, considering it's also local.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if you want to plan to build tables, but we don't need 5 people for second location. We'll order tables, we will order drywall, we put the tables in and the chairs. I would be happy if you had someone who would figure out the coffee machine. I mean, that is the
I'm not taking that responsibility.
Very dangerous one.
Auditing, co-working, auditing, you can sign in.
Auditing,
Because I see that everybody's like avoiding that topic.
Okay, Mirko?
But I'll be happy to have help from someone.
Okay.
Yeah, I can also do auditing.
Nice.
With
Uh,
2P.
everything well
I mean, it's 3P, Philip, right? He never gets it, it's okay.
Jürgen, are you on the list? Do you have a
Yes, I'm shadowing.
Michael? Oh, you said you're not in for now? Miroslav? Okay, Matthias will help with this documenting. That will basically be the resource to you to figure all this out.
So now let's elect the heads for each team.
To marketing. Guys, we need somebody else for marketing. We need more people on marketing. It's important.
I don't think we need more people on marketing.
You think so?
No, I
think 2 is enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think that there might be some overlap if we need like a squeeze page or something for the co-op sign up. If there's anything like that, then that probably falls into tech. That might be me.
Oh, do we have tech?
Yeah, tools.
Tools. Kind of tech.
Is there any other remote, Shul?
Clement needs time to think, so he'll give you an answer by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So
let's select heads for each team.
Yeah, I think Patrick could be. He will choose something that will suit him. Something that I think that he'll know what he wants to pick. And
something structured,
yeah.
like auditing and.
Yeah.
He's also going to be legal.
All the time? Is he not coming
Well, at
back?
least for the next few weeks.
He will not come back for
IT marketing as well.
Okay.
So, can we elect heads now or not?
Just by the way, Patrick can also give feedback on marketing is pretty big thing right now. This project.
Just a little bit side question, but on the topic with opening the second place, anyone between Philip, Judith, and Ryan, are you guys gonna have a look at the contract and what it says, the rental contract, I mean, before it is signed, in terms of terms and conditions?
I think it's.
I mean, you can have a look at anything, but we will not be slowed down by processes. So
Of
it's
course.
I mean, we will share all the information. Everyone can look at everything, but expect us to move pretty quickly because otherwise we don't meet the December 15th deadline.
And I would say they are now the most experienced one with contracts, with renting contracts here in
Contract
this
is Afton,
area.
right? And just Afton, legal is
After,
following
and
a couple
then
of-
might maybe you. But-
Just double check it quickly.
Yeah,
Afton has
but
special contracts, right? I'm just gonna put Afton.
Because I also have a little bit experience in rental.
but you mentioned 3 others.
Yeah.
No, but I
Mm,
think
maybe
it's
it
a
could
good
be a
question.
help.
So let's say for the second place, there is a contract to be checked. Is it legal or is it second place team? I think it's legal. I mean, it's actually after, but
I mean, to me, it's everyone can have a look at all the documents and everything that we do. But the way how this will happen is the second location is tomorrow the guy will come here. We will do a handshake on the conditions, and this will be the contract. So if somebody wants to sit in this discussion, that's okay.
No, I mean, length of contract, price,
Yeah,
terms.
I mean, you can see all these things, but we will not vote on this at any.
No,
rate.
I'm not
So
talking
you
about
can have
voting
somebody
or
sitting
anything.
in on this. What we want to do is, I think, what we discussed. We aim that we have at least 3 years. Better would be 5 years. We have the price. Obviously, we want to try to see who is cleaning the areas and stuff like this.
and so you're also part of second place then, because who's going to negotiate this then?
Yeah,
The co-working Bansko company will negotiate this.
Yes.
Okay.
The guys will just have a look on it, but don't
So
have the
the
right to
second
vote or
place
anything.
It's the second place. People can shadow and can help with this, but it's still a co-working Bansko
Exactly.
decision.
It would be great, like when maybe Philip or Peter have time tomorrow. I mean, Peter will not be here, but Philip, take a seat, right?
And so for
Tomorrow.
is it the case for all the things, or maybe the bylaws is more that we decide, or also just that you guys tell us the bylaws and we just
No,
No,
the bylaws have
is-
nothing to do with the co-working Bansko operation. The
So
bylaws
that's
are.
the only real team then, or, I mean, anything else?
No, this is not true. I think for also the shadowing, people will need to figure out how does the co-working space run? How do we document it? And they will then make proposals, maybe how it's run different in the future. But it's not that for this day-to-day operations, the co-op takes over now. The co-op takes over like middle of July next year.
But can you just tell to everybody three things on the contract? Rental price agreed, the length of the contract, termination purposes, nothing else. Is that agreed with that guy that you're meeting tomorrow?
The length of the contract is not agreed, so we have a price. The price is 666 left per month.
With or without the
I'm very uncomfortable with that.
Maybe one left more.
This would be my understanding as well.
But also this is nothing that the co-op will decide. So we will figure out this tomorrow. If we have the feeling the conditions change so significantly that we should inform the co-op, we will inform the co-op. But if not, we will just do a handshake deal, right? And the conditions are what we have communicated so far. So he has named the price for the rent. He has named kind of the areas that we can get. We have named that we want to have at least 3 years, maybe 5 years. I don't know if we can get this, but this we will negotiate. And there might be some other clauses that are related to it, like who's doing the cleaning.
In general, 3 to 5 years at 666 lefts per month.
This is not a commitment. This is just the current information that we have.
Okay.
If it's different, we might make a different deal. If we feel the deal is now totally different, we will raise it. You can have somebody in the room to oversee this and so on.
Okay. All right, that's of teams.
My question is only because after that it will be the other 2 or the other 4 years, the co-op paying that instead of
yes, but you can still. I mean, you can still decide to buy or not buy the business in July, right? So it's only an option.
I mean,
and obviously we will try not to.
I mean, yes, we agree that we share everything and that they have a voting right. So, and of course we have the veto, but like it means also that they should have the possibility to get the information, right?
Yeah, I mean, they should get the information. Everyone should have the
information. And also, if Mirko wants to sit with you tomorrow, I'm not here tomorrow, unfortunately, then please come, feel free.
Yeah, this is what I said. So it can be shadowing, all the information will be shared.
Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly.
We need heads of these teams, and what is the function of these heads?
I would say yes, and the function is the person that has to present whatever is being concluded, also making sure everything's communicated if something has to be communicated.
That's responsible for the topic.
So let's select them.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, finance. Should we vote, or how does this work? Yeah.
It's only Andrea right now.
Okay.
No, it's Uwe as well, right?
Yes.
And shouldn't they also propose themselves who would like to do it and who?
Oh, yes, let's make this easy. I'm responsible for finance. Who agrees?
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so I will call the people that are ahead.
I'm responsible for
actually you have your
accounts.
vote even though you are part of it.
Yeah, if you don't vote for yourself, we can't vote for you.
I do have to vote? Or?
Yeah,
I
You
did.
can.
Yes.
okay. So what has passed? Auditing the co-working Bansko accounts, we have 2 names, Miroslav and Philip.
Yeah, I'll be leading. Philip will be helping.
Philip,
Philip, are you happy?
I agree with this.
All right.
Okay, do we vote on this? Yes.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
Legal, I will be leading, Miro will be helping.
Next one, legal. We have Peter and Miroslav.
I will lead legal help.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we voting on this? Perfect.
Oh, very nice.
Who is helping with opening the second space? Who is leading on this?
Who wants to?
Female quotas here.
Define helping.
Yeah. I mean,
I
help
think
is-
this is up to the head, right? So
This
somebody
also-
proposed it would be great to help with opening the second space. This could mean, I don't know what this means.
I mean, I also think you and Uwe are on this help.
We are on this help category anyways, because we have.
For them, it's mandatory.
It would be great to have somebody from the co-op.
Already,
with him.
okay.
Because the co-op will inherit the space after
I
that.
think Philip has brought it up. Philip, what do you imagine when you said helping with opening a second space?
To be transparent about information and supporting information.
So people sit in all the meetings that we have.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's good.
Follow costs as well on putting up the place.
What needs to be done. Bring this.
So what I would like to add to this function, because if we open it on December 15th and it's our second birthday, Uwe and I, we still don't really know what to do for the second birthday party. So maybe this team can figure out how we have really a great opening of this space and do an amazing event and bring people here.
Another thing I want
can
to
add is-
add to this, it counts as ours.
Everything
Of course.
counts as ours.
Yes.
Sure.
What does that mean? It counts as ours?
But it's part of the 100 hours.
For
Yes.
next year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's good that you say it, but I think everybody this was implied.
So let's vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Philip, very nice.
Remy, Ryan, who wants to lead marketing?
I will lead marketing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, good. We'll vote.
Who leads tools?
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Happy to.
Right. And who leads
Well, this is
shadowing?
going fast.
I think that Jürgen might be good at this.
Yeah,
I think I
because
can
he's
be a
here.
very solid second because
Actually,
this
only
is a
one
lot of my
lead.
background. But since I'm already leading marketing, I think it makes more sense to have someone else.
Who's for Jürgen?
Yeah, is Jürgen for Jürgen.
Is Jürgen for Jürgen?
Okay, Jürgen, can you quickly describe what you mean with this function?
So this is like I would not vote for myself. This is I will tell people this.
What about Judith?
No, but can you see yourself, like, if you don't want to be head of this, then tell us, and that's also okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably not be head of this, but if nobody else will do it, I will do it.
I'm happy to be head of it.
I would probably be like a second in command.
Only, right?
So, no. So for
Ryan,
me,
what did you say?
what this entails is reviewing our operations procedures. And I'm already told you, they're all on Google Drive. It's a big mess.
How can you review yourself? I mean, this doesn't work.
No, I will be the resource that is providing them actually stuff. I will not review it. I will not document it. I will help you to figure out where we have stored all our stuff. But whoever is heading this needs to document this so that it becomes more transparent to the other members of the co-op how to actually run a
I
co-working
can
space.
try that because I'm with Sebastian on the tools thing, so I know maybe we can
Use
we
the
can
tool.
work together on there.
I have
as
some
well.
suggestions for tools for standard operating procedures too. This is part of what I do in my business too.
I am happy to analyze the procedures.
Yeah,
Who is for
please,
you?
Oh,
please help.
yeah, shoot it.
Then after co-op, is there do we have so much time left that somebody wants to volunteer for helping with marketing of co-working Bansko?
Maybe some of the people that are remote can join the marketing team and then they can decide if it's time for the
I'm
marketing.
happy to. I mean, my thought was that I would head this as well. since
No, it's
is
marketing, like what you're head of marketing towards the investors.
But we can have one
Yeah, but
marketing
it doesn't
function
have to be the
focusing
same.
on the co-op.
No, it's not
No,
the
it's,
same.
I think it's
totally
very different because you need to convince investors to get in.
Yes, but I mean, this is very much more in line with my background.
Yes.
I,
This is why I mean, like,
I'm
should
saying
we
I'm
keep?
happy to do both,
Okay.
but if you don't want me to, it's also fine.
So do you rather want to move yourself from here to down there and keep Remy on the marketing?
I would
to
like
you?
Ryan's experience in content marketing
Yeah.
for both marketing functions,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, maybe I can help with both, and maybe Remy can be more in charge of the marketing to remaining co-op slots, and I can be more in charge of the marketing to working Bansko.
Okay, I mean, do we have the same understanding what this marketing to remaining co-op slots entails?
You need to find 20 people
So I
with
think-
200.
Well, no, we all need to find 20 people.
I think it entails
Yeah.
messaging our current members.
Yes.
It's like one message.
Yeah. It involves material production.
No, there's no material target. It's like, guys,
Like
this is the
presentation.
notes. Oh, okay.
The one sheeter for yes.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
missed something.
definitely.
Before we come to new stuff, there's something missing here. Like, who is actually taking all these notes and all these videos and putting this into a coherent documentation that members can actually see what we discussed here?
I thought that was part of the marketing of getting investors.
No,
No, I mean, the marketing of the investors is, I think, just messaging people, probably by messaging the people that we already know and easily have. It will be pretty straightforward. If you then need to do squeeze pages and content marketing and Google AdWords,
But we already said there is a one sheet or something like this. We want to generate a one sheet.
Who's creating a
Yeah,
one sheet?
exactly.
We need a
But isn't
presentation
marketing generate marketing materials?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yes, but recording all of these notes and putting them in some organized fashion and
Logic
taking
is
notes is
helpful.
not what I signed up for.
Okay.
I'm not a note taker.
This includes one sheet.
So again, do you want Remy to do the? I mean,
does Remy want to do it?
With both.
No, but I don't think that collecting all the notes, to me, this sounds more like the bylaws type of discussion.
Yeah.
Right, so because to create the bylaws, we don't have bylaws yet.
Yeah.
We can ask EFTIN to create bylaws, but before this happens, we need to probably review all the stuff that we talked on this weekend, put it in liquid feedback, start voting on stuff, maybe making changes, and then at some point telling FTM, okay, FTM
No,
now.
just a second. Do we vote about all this again?
We said that not all the YouTube videos, this is not related to legal, right?
Just,
But
do
it's
we vote about all this again?
The whole package, yes.
Because currently
Keep it
nothing.
as a whole package, and then if you want to change something, we can use it to propose changes.
Like one
But
vote.
by default, it's accepted.
Okay, one vote.
What? You mean the notes that I have? You give them to FTM and he creates bylaws.
No, we can put them somewhere. I will announce it as legal, right? And then if you want to propose a change, then the tool team will basically have the tool, so we can propose changes.
So
there.
you will create, you will create the initial version of the bylaws.
No, I'll take whatever you have here.
These are not the bylaws. Who is creating the initial
We had
version of the
a
bylaws?
bylaw meeting.
Hmm?
We had a bylaw meeting.
Yes, you have some notes, but these are not bylaws. I'm telling you, what we have are not the bylaws.
Like, look, I can go to Afton, right? We can ask him for a draft. We take that back to the entire co-op. We discuss and we go back to finalize it after, you know. We probably just a few times back and forth, but it's only us.
But it's saying we make you responsibility to propose the bylaws to the group, right? Is this what you sign up for? You bring us a document from FTM that says bylaws in English.
The big parts of them are already discussed, right?
Yes, exactly. I think so too, and I think that's why you took the notes, Matthias.
Yes.
Okay, I took some notes, but now
70% of the bylaws should be here. Weekend, so another weekend.
Okay, but I mean, we agree that we need to vote on bylaws, right? So we will have official bylaws that go into the company house.
Yes, when they are coming back, the official bylaws we need to all agree on.
Okay,
yes.
but where do they come back from?
From
So I
FTM.
will go to FTM.
With all this stuff?
Yeah.
You give him all this stuff and you say, FTM, you make
We're
bylaws.
making some legally valid drafts, and then you can propose changes in the tool.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
That's
then
how it
it
works.
takes 2 weeks or whatever it takes to do
And
it.
this
then
is
go
his
back to
job.
FTM and
Okay,
finalize it.
okay, so this is your job. You give the draft bylaws from FTM to
I will
Sebastian.
get them from FTM based on our feedback.
Okay,
Yes, exactly.
so and you will give
For me,
this.
it's very clear.
Yeah, okay. So just to confirm, it's your responsibilities to give the bylaws to Sebastian and then we will vote on them.
No, I will put the bylaws in a communication to the team, and then we can use his tool to start voting changes.
Okay, but you will send the bylaws to someone.
As an announcement from legal to everybody. Yeah.
Important add on to the legal should be not only the bylaws, but also the procedure of setting up the thing.
Because what I would like to point out that yes, we have talked about some of the bylaws, but we have a lot of topics that we didn't even discuss yet.
Yeah, we use the tool to do more. Not
Exactly.
again. Honestly, sorry.
No, okay, not this again is clear, but it means that currently FTM cannot create the bylaws because there's a lot of
I will
topics.
come back with the things that are unclear. But FD will tell me this is always like this or whatever, right? And then based on that.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to create them, just some initial feedback, like saying like this is not possible.
Don't forget that on top of what we have discussed, there is a legal paper saying this. So we will have to implement ours into the legal, or if team will have to do that for us.
Absolutely.
No, but this is okay. I'm 100% sure there's no working groups in the Bulgarian law for our core, for example.
But I think that we have just created the working groups for the next 2-3 months, and then we will create the working groups once it is set up as a structure.
Okay, but the problem is this is for the bylaws, if we remember correctly what FTM said, that every time we change the bylaws, we have to resubmit them to the company house, we have to retranslate them into
We're
Bulgarian.
also doing them once. Like the entire change is internal.
Yeah, but if we say working groups, it needs to be in the bylaws, right?
No.
I mean, we only have the working groups officially once we have the Coop.
No, it's only when it's
time to get to the
Okay,
final
so
bylaws.
whatever. So what I take back from this discussion is that Peter, as the head of legal, is presenting bylaws in which form
And I will make
whatsoever.
sure everybody in the team can make their changes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or additional suggestion.
Exactly. With the tools.
Where did Ryan go now? Okay, so should we move you or should we keep you where you are?
I am happy to help with both because I am interested in our marketing strategy for co-working Bansko, but I'm also interested in helping shape how we promote the co-op to new members. I'm happy to lead one or the other or both. I don't think that the one with the co-op makes me the sole person responsible for selling memberships. I think everybody is responsible for this. I can create some structure around it, communication, one-sheeter, etc. And then when it comes to marketing, I think that also involves a little bit of the shadowing process for what you guys have already been doing for marketing and coming up with a content strategy, marketing strategy, etc., etc. which all
But
doesn't
it also
seem like.
includes writing articles about this, right?
But I think there will be, I expect our co-working Bansko marketing team to expand, and I think everybody can write an article occasionally, like it's not just me writing articles.
It's also the task for later, no?
Yeah, it's also a test for later, but it's on here now, yeah, we have.
Well, we put it if there's time left over.
It's important to think about.
Yeah. So actually, to be honest, like I would rather see an article about what we are doing right now, before I see an article for co-working Bansko at this point of time.
Now, as we discussed, the head of the marketing, Ryan, would determine this. He would not assign
And I
content to
agree
Ryan.
with you.
You can define conversation.
Well, the nice thing is that content is good for both. It's
Right,
to
it
go
is.
up, but it's
Yeah.
also a promotion for co-working.
And what about Remy's role?
So
Remy is helping me
I'm
with
helping
marketing. Okay.
in the first in the marketing for.
Do we have a name without a
for
task?
Coop. I can happily help. in
Okay,
the
do we
second
have
or
anyone who
so,
doesn't have a task yet? Who
especially
needs a task?
posting in the digital
I think it's fair
Is
for
anybody
everyone
else
to be
interested in
involved.
helping with co-working Bansko marketing?
Yeah, I think the marketing should be the biggest team, honestly.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I
would like
marketing.
Okay, I mean, also, let's step back to sell the remaining co-op shares. Could be something that is done as like one message, and it could be that we are done, or it
Which
could
would be great.
or it could be that this requires like thousands of hours to scout through all Europe to find people.
Can we all think of maybe one or two people we can ask? Because I
Already asked some people.
I mean, all try this.
So we will ask all the members that are here.
So we want the members.
There is also in the group, like in the public group, we have already some, I think, 70 interactions or something. So we have a big group of people which we can ask.
And we should really ask in circles. I mean, we should ask the people first that are closer to the co-working space, and then the people that are further away. Right. So first we ask the current members. If they fill up everything, great. If not, we will ask alumni. If not, we will start about the Bansko School ecosystem, and then we can start. Okay, do we know anyone else who has never been to Bansko?
So if you have somebody joining in the 450 group because they're like outside of the member group, and this guy is joining before the 19th, we still leave a spot open for the members to do the 200 euro deal until just to be clear, right?
That only applies to certain people.
So even if they commit now, they actually sign up on the 20th or something, technically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
A
Then
name without a task.
anyone who doesn't have a task yet? No.
4 minutes to go until 5.
Good. So the last thing to think about is now we have people signing up tomorrow that obviously don't have tasks. No, there will be people that don't have tasks. It's not necessarily a problem because we said the 100 hours can be at any year during the next year. So like everything now counts already for 2019. And I think once we have more people, there's many tasks. So I can also share a list of projects that I think would be great for the co-working space.
We can just publish all the heads or just all the teams, and they can contact those people, and then they can define.
I also think we will run into more tasks, and we'll see where we need
Especially
more.
as we
Probably
get
we do
into starting to test run, doing co-working Bansko operations, events, marketing, communication, etc. Like there's an ending thing. We come up with all kinds of things.
Good. Anything else? In 3 minutes.
Okay.
Can non-ticket
Yeah,
people
me too.
vote?
Yes.
Was it Regnum or
No, Villa Victoria.
Villa Victoria? Okay.
I mean, I think most of us have to go get our stuff. Yeah.
So just in practice now, you don't want to pay cash in Laf. Who can I pay to?
Who?
Wait, that is
Uber,
still like
cash.
because tomorrow we're leaving together to Sofia, and I'm dropping there forever. So okay, I'll give you your
In which channel we are communicating in the first to just be
I will
transparent?
very quickly set up Slack. Don't worry, like
So
we'll
we
be
just
up and
Slack.
running basically tomorrow. I will ask for everybody's email on Facebook in the group, and then
Perfect.
So and
That'll
Slack
be-
we are communicating all about
Yeah.
this task.
that'll be up and running within 2 days.
Those documents there.
I will share them all in the Facebook participant group.
And
I
then
already
we can
shared some
get
of
it
it, but
somewhere
I'll
else.
share the full file.
But
And then
you-
move it to Google Drive.
Do you share the link or you share the original documents? So if you share the original documents, they are still
Should
in
we put it all on Google
process.
Drive?
Yes, they are. Then we have to document
So
from
So I
today.
will share everything in the group. Everything that happens from there is a bus.
Okay.
Yes.
Also lieber Links, Google Links oder was auch immer als das Originaldokument.
Read only.
Meinetwegen. Aber trotzdem, wenn es sich verändert und ich habe das Originaldokument in Slack, dann habe ich 27 Mal mit geringen Änderungen. Ich will nur einen Link. Bitte?
Kann ja nicht geändert werden.
Dokumente können nicht in Slack geschert werden, nachdem wir uns entschieden haben.
In Google Drive you can add comments to it. You can
Aber der Link
comments
kann
aber der Link
like read only with comments.
Ja, das meine ich doch.
Du verlinkst ja nur in Slack. Du musst ja nie ins
Du machst
Dokument
ein
rein.
Dokument.
Ich möchte aber am liebsten überall nur Links haben,
Ja.
auch in Facebook. Also wenn du jetzt das Dokument hochlädst und es gibt eine zweite Version 3 Tage später.
Ja,
eine Version.
Das sind 5 Dokumente,
Can
das
you
kann
please speak in English?
Okay,
Sorry.
Oh, it's already started.
It's already started. It's stupid, like about the organization of the docs. It's like minor. It's minor.
I think it just read only with common features.
Yes, that's fine.
Because then like people can edit it without messing up the whole document itself. And then you can integrate the feedback of the comments into it for whoever is responsible for doing documentation, which might be the shadowing team, I guess.
When do we meet back for?
Yeah, that's my question. Are we all meeting back here before we go to the hot springs?
Yeah, a few minutes. Just grab your stuff.
Okay, I think
Like,
we
leave
need
here.
15 minutes at least.
I mean, some people need to go further for
I
their
have to go to
swimming
my house.
class.
Okay, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Either.
Okay, so 5:15. No, I don't think I'll be joining this meeting.
Okay, can we have some final words to close this meeting or
Yeah,
the
it's
session?
closed.
It's not closed.
Final in the hot springs.
Hot springs.
Any